Hey friend, welcome to the Self-Care Isn't Selfish podcast. I'm your host, Emily Nichols. As a Whole30 certified coach, wife, busy working boy mom, and your self-care guru, I'm here to help you start putting yourself first without the guilt. Each week you'll hear motivating and practical tips on how you can create a habit of self-care through interviews with my amazing guests or quick solo episodes with me. After each episode, you'll walk away with an action plan and feel empowered to implement what you have learned into your life. So grab a cup of coffee, glass of wine, or your favorite sparkling water, and let's do this. You're listening to episode 12 of the Self-Care Isn't Selfish podcast. This week is another self-care quickie tip with just me, and I'm talking all about getting your rest. I know that's easier said than done, and this episode was inspired by me feeling really burnt out and just really tired this week. And it really made me take a step back and realize I need to listen to my body and rest. So right now, I'm in the midst of a new job. Things are going really well. It's actually a lot less pressure and a lot less stress than my previous job. And it's so mission focused. I'll do an episode here in the future about what I'm doing a little bit more, but I've been pushing myself a little bit too hard physically in my fitness routine. So I am training for the Indy Monumental Half Marathon. It's coming up here in a couple of weeks in early November. And so my training's really ramping up this week. And I have to run 12 miles tomorrow morning, and that's so far. And I'm so tired. And this week also started Hell Week at Orange Theory, which if you know me, recently I've drank the Kool-Aid. I've become obsessed with Orange Theory. And Hell Week is 8 days and of like their hardest workouts you could ever possibly do. And if you do 5 out of the 8 of them, you get a t-shirt. I'm putting myself through hell to get a t-shirt, but I am there for it. I am in it. Like I said, I drank the orange Kool-Aid and I am into Orange Theory, but I have been having really early mornings, working all day and just taking myself too far. So I think we really get caught up in busyness and, like I said, pushing ourselves too far. And I'm pretty intuitive and know when I need to rest. And this Saturday morning, I told my husband, I said, I'm going to sleep my face off. We don't have anything to do. I slept until 8:30, which was glorious. And I didn't get out of bed. I had him go get me coffee, and the kids ended up coming in the room. The dog was in the room like, are you ever going to get up and feed me or let me out? And I stayed in bed till about 10:30, but it was so needed and so good for my soul. So I'm going to share a few tips for you today about how you can get more rest. And like I said, I know, trust me, it's easier said than done. But the whole health journey for me and my husband started back in 2015 because he wasn't sleeping well, and the effects it had on him physically and mentally from all that time of not sleeping well compounded so negatively into our lives. And that's when we found Whole30 and he started sleeping better, and our nutrition just became so on point, and that in turn just made us feel so much better. So I really value rest and sleep, and I want you to value rest and sleep as well. So let's go over a few tips with you for how you can get more rest and make this a priority for you in your self-care routine. Tip number 1 is to change your mindset. So like I mentioned, my husband had really serious sleep issues for a couple of years due from night shift work. And going to bed was a really stressful time for him. And I think a lot of it came, physically, but a lot of it was mentally as well. He would be going to bed and thinking, I never rest well. I can't turn my mind off. Oh my gosh, I only sleep 3 or 4 hours a night. Oh, I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m. I know I will. And I think when you have that mindset, you're not going to rest well at all. Another thing to think about when changing your mindset when it comes to rest, not necessarily with like going to bed and sleeping, but if you consider yourself one of those people where you're like, I am just blessed to be stressed, I am just a hot mess and that is just who I am. Who wants to claim to be that? I mean, that sounds really not fun. And I get it. I mean, I'm really overwhelmed sometimes in my mind with all the things going on in my life, but I changed my mindset where like I am in control of the things in my life. I am in control of the ways I react to things in my life. And that can go with rest as well. So change your mindset when it comes to either going to bed or making rest a priority, and you will see the benefits of it long term, I promise. Tip number 2, plan your rest. I know your schedule is busy, but you have to plan the time to rest. So I planned this morning. We didn't have anything going on, so I planned to sleep my face off this morning, which I never get to do. And I know there's a lot of times where you don't have the opportunity to do that, but if you're able to plan out the times where you are able to lay down and sleep, or just lay down and have some quiet time, read a book or whatnot, it's more likely to happen versus just saying, oh, I wish I could have the time to sleep or do this. Actually plan it out. Let your partner know, let your family know, this is a time where mom or wife or whoever you are going to take the time to rest and recharge your battery. So even writing it down on your schedule, there's nothing wrong with that. Take it as seriously as you would as any other appointment you would put on your calendar for the week. Hey gang, jumping in real quick to remind you that all of my self-care quickie tip episodes are brought to you by my online Whole30 courses. As I've mentioned numerous times, Whole30 helped change me from the inside out, and I now help my clients eat, move, and love themselves to help them find their own version of self-care, food freedom, and to put themselves first without feeling the guilt. So head on over to my website. It's just emily-nichols.com and check out all of my Whole30 courses. If you weren't able to get into one of my most recent Whole30 groups, if the deadline has already passed, no worries. I am always taking on Whole30 private clients if you'd like to get coached one-on-one, or also if you're just looking for a little bit of virtual accountability, some little tough love and cheerleading from me, then sign up for my Whole30 Anytime course. These are courses you can do anytime throughout the year when you're ready to give Whole30 a try. Just a reminder, it's emily-nichols.com, or follow along on Instagram at emilynichols22 so you can get all the updates on what's happening with my Whole30 courses. And just because I love my podcast listeners, once you head to the site and purchase your course, I have a special discount code for you. Just enter at checkout SELFLOVE. That's just self-love, SELFLOVE, all one word, all capitals, to receive a discount. So can't wait to see you inside the course and help you change from the inside out through Whole30. Tip number 3, get more sleep. Duh. And I know, it's so silly to say it out loud, but it's so easier said than done. But get more sleep. Go to bed an hour earlier. You know, I am so bad. I go to bed usually around 11 p.m. each night, and I get up to work out most mornings either at 4:30 or 5:30 in the morning. That's so dumb. I know I'm not getting enough sleep, and my body felt it this week. That's why I slept my face off Saturday morning. It was so glorious. But get more sleep. And listen, if you have a newborn baby or some type of issue going on in your life, in your house, where getting up earlier or getting to bed earlier is not going to happen, give yourself some grace. But if you don't have any of those extra stressors going on in your life, go to bed an hour earlier. Put your phone in another room. Turn the TV off. Read a book. I drink hot tea every night before I go to bed, and that is my mental and physical cue, actually making my tea, that it's bedtime is coming up, and it physically and mentally helps me unwind and get ready for bed. Now, another thing about getting up early and working out, you know, that's something that it's a non-negotiable. It's ingrained in me now. But if I do that day after day after day, I am so exhausted. So I've had to learn to back off this past, probably the past year. I've really learned to back off on getting up early every single morning to work out. Saying no to an early morning Orange Theory class, or deciding to sleep in an extra hour and a half and just get ready for work instead of going for a run, and not feeling guilty about it. you cannot feel guilty about resting or sleeping, because if you don't sleep, those workouts aren't going to be as efficient. You're going to be more exhausted and you're going to be wishing you were still in bed. So get some more sleep. You can do it. And my last tip for you today is find a way to rest. It doesn't have to be sleep. When I'm saying rest, it doesn't necessarily have to be sleep, but thinking about what charges your batteries. So it could be having coffee with a friend. It could be reading a really great book. It could be getting outside. It could be, 2 evenings ago, my kids wanted to watch a movie, so we just cuddled on the couch and watched a movie together, and that was a really great way for me to rest and recharge my battery. So think about what makes you feel good. Think about what makes you relax, and incorporate more of that into your life as well, because I get it. It's really hard to think, I'm just going to take a cat nap every day. Probably not going to happen. But think about what can help you recharge your batteries, and think about making rest a priority. Because let's face it, when you don't sleep well, when you're overworked, you're busy, and like I said earlier, you're a hot mess and blessed to be stressed, you're not resting. You're not in the best frame of mind. And that's not self-care, friend. You need to be taking care of yourself and recharging so you can be the best version of yourself, so you can do those things on your self-care checklist to become the best version of yourself. And like I always say, put the oxygen mask on first so you're able to be there for everyone else. So rest is best. I hope this episode resonated with you. Please take a moment to leave a rating and review on iTunes, and take a screenshot of you listening today and tag me on Instagram at EmilyNichols22 or at Self-Care Isn't Selfish Podcast. But don't be up late listening tonight or up super early tomorrow if you need your rest. So thanks again for listening, gang. I so appreciate you, and I'll catch you next week. Remember, self-care isn't selfish.